Greetings, everyone. This is Big John, and
And this is Kenneth Lee.
we
And
are
we
the
are the Beard.
branding beardos.
Okay, NG.
Yeah,
So the thing is right with the first one I sent you this morning, right?
yeah,
It's not that you cannot do layoff. You can do layoff. It's like
yes. But
you
it's
know,
the
it's
manner, is the manner of the layoff,
yeah.
manner of it. Because
How
like you see here, the first things first. Right, I already saw there was a report already Straits Times. I mean, as of 6th of April, right? 178 businesses, right, in Singapore have already gone into liquidation. It means
yeah.
assets are being sold off, to repay debtors and all that, and
Mm,
uh, that is a shocking number, to see that that
yeah.
amount of companies, because the whole of 2019 was about 280 something, and now
Correct.
we're only into April and in fact, the numbers were only
Like
taken from the first
thousand
3 months.
over.
Yeah,
So imagine the number of jobless people out there right
yeah,
now, right? Having been laid off, the company going in liquidation. It's quite
yeah.
it's quite terrible.
There's a
And
yeah.
for brands, right, to add on to this agony, right, by not laying people off the right way,
Mm.
it's really a nightmare.
But it's tough, I tell you, because I mean, like, because my uncles also, they have a business, but the business is in Malaysia. But it's tough, because I even when they were talking to me and asking for ideas and stuff, right, about how best to handle things so that it's not going to be such a great impact to the staff. It's difficult because each company does not every company does not have the same resources moving forward. Some people might have deeper pockets than others, then you are able to weather the tide. But then there are others who, hey, that's it. No, I after 2 months, if I have to continue paying
Cannot
them,
already.
then I have to tap out already. And most
Yeah.
SMEs are going to fall into. I mean, don't fucking talk about SMEs. Look at the MNCs themselves who are retrenching left, right, center, and every
Right.
like, hey, this is a great chance to reset. Let's go and retrench. But I mean, like you
So,
say,
so I,
no,
I think it's okay to retrench.
but
I think it's okay to what?
what is the good way to do this? This is already such a damn difficult thing, right?
So so
Yeah,
I think instead of doing a mass layoff, right?
yeah.
Doing a mass layoff, right? You really need to do it, lay the people off through the people that know them the best. So
Okay.
you don't do a Zoom call all 406 people
Yeah,
into the Zoom
yeah,
call and tell them about it.
damn asshole. That's
That's like heartless, right?
that is bloody hard.
Uh, yeah, but get the manager who may not also be retrenched,
Yeah.
right? Tell the manager we are laying these people off in your team.
Mm,
Go and talk to them and give them guidelines,
yeah.
right? Explain to them first of all, what the severance package is,
Yeah.
what's the exit. Then secondly, then you know why lah, right? The business pressure, COVID-19. Um, and if you really want to, right, you can even say we lay you off now. If you cannot find something within the next 3 months and we are back within the next 3 months,
Yeah.
can you please come and contact us? So you leave the door open, but you gotta leave them with that positivity instead of that just you're fired, you're laid off, the
But
company is closing down.
I tell you, in our context, right? I mean, if if you're going to tell someone like this, right? I mean, the first reaction be like, "Aya, walao, this boss talk cock only, right?
Correct,
Say this kind of thing." But
correct.
it's not easy, because at the same time, right? A lot of SMEs here also don't practice retrenchment or severance packages. That's why a lot of people will be like,
Mhm.
"What is that? Only MNCs do severance." But this is the state of things here. That I mean, in a sense that a lot of employees also, they're not really
Correct.
protected in that sense, lah.
So
Yeah,
if you meet an employer who doesn't give you a severance package, or if you're an employer that doesn't have a severance package and you're SME and you happen to hire someone very savvy in workers' rights, then you really have a problem.
Mm.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Then people will go to MOM and tell them, can you mediate a solution for me?
Mm.
Then when MOM step in, then you have a problem. So I rather you plan ahead. As a business owner, right, I highly recommend you plan ahead. Make sure that they don't feel like they are a tool that is thrown away, and you have a lesser chance of getting in trouble with authorities also.
Yeah, but I think one lesson to be learned, I think the transparency and the communication from the top has to be there. Like you were mentioning the managers and all, but I feel that maybe like for, let's say, an SME setting of maybe 10, 15 people in a team, I think the CEO, the boss, the owner has to come in and first step in and then give a general rundown of things, and look, the situation is what it is, that
Yeah.
we're not lying, we're not anything, the situation is this, and we cannot sustain. But of course, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you and I, we're not HR people as well. We don't know what are the intricacies of HR. But I mean, through this topic that we are talking about, we are basically trying to tell employers how not to be overly asshole when doing a very
Correct.
difficult thing. Because there are some,
Because
you know what's the worst?
so
You know what's the worst thing? I know of some this one company, right? This guy, again, I will not mention names and all that, but he always claims that he's a great employer. I understand you. I'm going to take care of my. Oh, okay, maybe the accent was a bad idea, but anyway, I will ignore that. So this guy, he's always he always promotes himself as I'm the one who always does the right thing and so on and so forth. But at the moment this whole thing happened, right, of the moment COVID-19 and everything, and the speed at which he disposed of his staff, right, was wow. I was surprised, that it had to come from someone like this. So of course, I don't want to judge the situation as well, because I'm not his personal friend or something like this, but there are some employees, even though when the government are saying, try and hang on, we're going to subsidize 75% of your salaries and things like that, that even at this moment, right, why do you think SMEs like this, right, are not even trying to hang on just a little bit more, just for them to maybe take one more paycheck or two more paychecks, and then time for them to really
find a
react
job,
to the situation.
buy time for your employees, right?
Yeah, or rather than just dropping them off like this, and then say, hey, it's okay, the government will take care of you. They'll pass you the $500 or something, $800 a month for the next few months, but for imagine if the person is earning $2,000-3,000 a month, for example. I'm again, no discrimination against whatever amounts you're earning, but to suddenly have that shock of going
down to zero immediately.
going down to zero, you don't have, at least if like 2 months, I'm giving you 2 months, try and find a way, if not, then I'm so sorry.
I think it's a large part of it has got to do with how you approach the role of a company in a society, right? Because if you open it goes back to what we were talking about last time, right? Which is why you open business? Oh, make money,
Yeah.
That kind of company, definitely the moment something goes wrong, they start cutting employees, right? Because their view of a business, and there's nothing wrong with it, their view of a business is to maximize value extraction and profit.
It's the pragmatism, is the pragmatic Singaporean, pragmatic Asian at work, where I'm so sorry, I got no time for sob stories and tears for you, but I got to protect my assets, in that sense. But
I got to protect myself.
Yeah.
And you were an asset, but now I have to let go of you because you are no longer a liability.
Yeah, but so now, in your opinion, right, in terms of this, right, so that companies can have to take care of the employees is one thing, but don't come out looking like assholes also the other way.
Correct.
What do you think? What do you think, right? An SME can do moving forward? What's the best way for them to handle this situation? If let's say okay, I'm this SME, okay, in terms of the finances that I have, maybe in terms of salaries, I can tahan, I can hold out maybe for another 2 months before I tap out.
Months. Right. So actually, I've been in this situation before, except that the SME that I work with and work for didn't tell us about the runway. And I can tell you that as an employee, right, the greatest thing you can do is to be honest and transparent with your employees and tell them we have 2 months left.
Yeah.
Right? We can try to rescue it, or you take the 2 months, run out the 2 months and find something else. Right? You as an SME, you should never tell your employees you can make it when you don't know whether you can make it or not.
Yeah.
There is also the other possibility of taking like a reduced salary so that you extend your runway,
Yeah.
and then you see who wants to stay and who wants to leave. And I think no judgment for those people that want to leave, because and you might actually as an SME have a longer runway if you give people the option, and then people leave and some people stay. First of all, you weed out the people that are true to your brand.
Yeah.
Second of all, you get them to stick around and extend that runway for you, and then you can come out of this crisis actually better in terms of talent than when you started.
Right. Like one thing I noticed also about this, because I saw the news also that day of course, we know all the airlines are very hard hit, and of course Air Asia as well. So Tony Fernandez and his co-founder says, okay, no more salaries for us, and across the board, salary cuts ranging from 15% to 75% at the higher end. So
Correct.
I mean, for me, I think this is a lesson for everyone. If your staff, right, but of course, I'm sure the 75% cut is you are earning quite a considerable amount. But if your staff are prepared to stick by you even under those circumstances, right, then you must surely be doing something right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are also opportunities for voluntary resignations and things like that, as with any other company. But the fact is that, to even have cuts that go that much, right? I think that's fantastic, and I think that is a reflection of the company. What your staff are prepared to do for you, right, is a reflection of you as a business. If you've been a dick, right, you've been a twat to them, right, trying to squeeze
they
blood.
immediately abandon ship, because this is the time to screw the twat back.
Exactly. So, but I mean, of course, people also, they want to stay on because they need the work as well. But the thing is, whether it's I always feel, because of course, not many people will voluntarily step up and say, okay, I'm going to take a pay cut. But if a group of people are motivated enough to actually step up and do that, I say, wow, then you have done a great job as a boss.
Correct.
For
That's a really good litmus test.
Yeah.
You are right. You pointed out a very good thing.
Yeah.
And you actually talk about something that a lot of SMEs think that they cannot achieve, but they actually can. It's actually part of the DNA of the company, the brand.
Yeah.
Whether you take care of yourself. Mentor always told me, every time he has a chance to hear himself, he will say, the principle of being a leader is you always take care of your flock first.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very Jesus-led, very Christian-led mindset. But it's true. And if you really put the effort to take care of your flock first, right, they will stick with you through very hard times.
And I think like for my case on our side, we warn the staff of the potential of what can happen if we continue on this trajectory, and what could the possible next steps be. So I made the decision with my boss to let's highlight these issues as early as possible, right?
Correct.
This is the situation, right? Not many companies will be able to withstand, this kind of a storm, right? Um,
Right.
I said during the analogy, we're not in a sampan, but we're not on some cruise luxury liner either. We're kind of like, in between. We're trying, so where the staff in that sense repaid for not at the moment, not having to retrench or cut salaries yet, is that everyone put in extra work or put in the extra hours, right, to
Yeah.
ensure that we have deals in place, we have um, projects in place so that we can survive until a point where we can breathe and we
Yes.
look again to the future. So I think this openness is very important, because if you constantly paint a picture of very good, no problem, no problem, and then one day you suddenly swing the axe, fuck man, how is that person going to feel, right?
A lot of SME leaders don't have actually the real leadership guts to say we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so what they do is we're fine, until the moment we're not fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of it also has to got to do with the leadership ego.
It's a pride. Yeah, it's a pride thing.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, and it's a pride thing, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to let go of my staff, but I don't want to look back in front of my staff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to literally don't say anything until the last moment.
Mm.
And then when it's too late, then the staff, then the very real problem of where am I going to get my next meal, right, will seriously affect the staff, and then you just lost your entire reputation.
But I tell you, it's a very big conversation, a big topic. I mean, because like suddenly morals have come in, and then but the thing is, right, where do you stretch this point of the morals? Like, if you say, right, that that a company boss must sell his multi-million-dollar home and sell his Bentley and all that in order to sustain the staff, I cannot say that is the right thing to do also. You can't, because the thing is, then you have the other spectrum of the argument, which would be, well, you have a lot of money, so you must sell, you must help us, you must save us, and then it brings back to another discussion. It's a whole can of worms, actually. So I mean, like,
to me it's like this lah. If you're going to go to that extent, right?
Yeah.
Then you also have to flip around as an employee and ask yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if the company is in trouble, are you going to do the same thing?
Correct.
Are you going to sell your house? Are you going to sell your car?
Yeah.
Are you going to take your savings and put it in the company?
Then the next can of worms will open again, which is, I remember reading this article sometime back, and then it was basically about someone who was saying, don't tell your employees to treat this as if it's their own business, because it's not, and they're not getting the pay to back up that kind of
right.
action. So that's why I say it's many different arguments, and so depending on where you're standing, of course.
A lot of this is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, a lot of this is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
The whole company, we are all a family. If you don't behave like it's a family, don't say. If you don't want to sacrifice for the other person, don't say you're a family.
Right.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And you are right, in a sense, right? So what are you willing? We have to first draw the line of what are we willing to give up for the team.
Yeah.
And then the employer draws the line of where he's going to go. What is he willing to give up? And then the idea of fair is fair, right? Is it transactional? I pay you, so you work for me X number of hours to do X number of duties?
Yeah.
Or do we go further? Do we go further and say, okay, as the employer, I set the bar as I will do all these things for you, and you must go above and beyond. Then so it really is where you want to set your leadership bar.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, if the leaders have told everyone early on what the roadmap is and what the potential issues are, like you have done very responsibly, I think it's fair that you expect people to stick around or leave
Yeah.
accordingly.
Right. And the thing is about during these moments, right? It is almost impossible to plan for something like this. But I mean, my personal advice for all companies out there is that prepare until the end of the year. You know, whatever
Correct.
projections and preparations you have to make, prepare it till the end of the year because, like,
Expect it to be bad until December.
yeah, I mean, even if the virus was clear, no more new cases, things are reopening slowly. I mean, yeah, I think the government also has mentioned it will take another 3-4 months before the recovery properly kicks in, and that's still very dependent on what happens in the rest of the world as well, because after all, our economy is dependent on so many other external factors as well. But I mean, I think the first things first, like for the staff, is that once, I mean, you know, the company is not is really going to be in the shits, right? So
Yeah.
I always that's why I shared that thing earlier because I feel that ultimate transparency from the get go. Of course, not asking you to go into to details down to the last cent, you know, but
Correct.
basically painting the picture. Look, we can only based on this. If these things if the scenario A happens, we can carry on operations up till June, July. If scenario B
Correct.
happens by this date, bad things have got to happen, and then more bad
Mm.
things, and then we will see how it goes. It cannot be.
And then
It's hard to plan long term, also, you know.
the interesting thing is also when you have that, like we tell that everyone what's going to happen, scenario A, scenario B, scenario C, you open up that conversation. It's also very interesting to hear, for example, how the employees come back to you. Sometimes they will have very good, sometimes they will volunteer, sometimes they will have very good suggestion on how to stretch the dollar. And I think if you have that openness, it is still much more advantageous than that old school Asian style of like
Yeah.
don't tell them anything until like, so then you're just treating them like
Or worst, yeah, exactly. Worst still, yeah, they only a cleaner, only a driver. They won't understand one. You know
yeah, oh
that kind of
gosh,
mentality is really wrong. Yeah.
yeah. And it's very damaging to, it's not just damaging to the business, it's damaging to the employee,
Yeah.
because in the long run they will become the tools that you want them to become.
Yeah. But I think I mean, this situation now, I mean, definitely the face of a lot of things are going to change. I mean, this will definitely change the way we hire, change the way we operate, you know, moving forward. It's a completely different world now for every single thing. Even the size of offices in the future office spaces. Are they going to be
Yeah.
continuing on this way? You know that
Yeah.
so many things.
Are we never gonna be able to shake hands again?
Yeah. Or are we going to, where we can hire and everyone works from home, and then that allows us to cut down on our overheads
Okay.
at the proper,
Yeah.
too big an office. But I think it's one thing, right, during this whole time. I mean, since we're on the topic of the employees and all that, I think it's also very, very important also to be able to trust your employees to do the job. Of course, there are some cases where some tougher measures have to be put in place, but
Hmm.
I think there's still a very, very old-fashioned mentality of, wow, if they're at home working online means they're not really working, so I must keep a very close eye on them, and that causes a lot of
Very
discomfort.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable.
So I
You
heard
know?
I heard a couple of the big companies, right? They even have the team viewer put on the computer so that they can track. I don't know whether they are really, really properly tracking or they are really just using it for teamwork. Who knows, right? But intrusive, definitely.
If you are the boss of a SME
Yeah,
and you want to team viewer all your employees,
yeah,
how efficient is that?
correct. Then you spend your time becoming a surveillance officer instead, no?
Yeah. Instead of going out there and maybe figuring out a new way to close deals or finding new revenue streams, you are watching your 10 employees or 15 employees.
Correct. But my,
And
my point with that is that if you cannot trust them, don't keep them.
yeah, if
Very
you cannot trust them, you shouldn't have hired them in the first place. but because of that ego, right? Of I hired the right person.
yeah.
I hired the right person, so I must make sure that he's right.
Mm.
Then you don't want to fire them.
Yeah, yeah,
Then, right? What's the point?
yeah.
If you cannot trust them, don't hire them. Don't hire them in the first place.
Well,
Get
yeah,
rid of them fast.
it's interesting because for me, like I'm looking at it from 2 points of views, right? This whole situation as someone who helps to run an organization, but at the same time also a salaried employee, you know. So there's definitely you can't have the best of both worlds. I mean, that's the fact. But I think the understanding from both sides is needed.
Yeah. And I think by and large, if you have the right sets of output requirement for the employee, for most employees, right? You
Yeah.
have a fixed set of output requirements and you stick to that and you hold them accountable to that, they'll be very busy,
Yeah.
right? So if you have a marketing executive that needs to push out X number of posts every week, hold them to that.
Yeah, so that means it's changing basically also that the way how we run certain things, that we have to be much more detailed in our requirements of
Correct.
of our staff and our people and things like that. It's a lot of adjustments.
And I honestly tell you, I hope that for if you are SME owner, all right, I want you to listen very carefully. I hope this proves to you that it's not the number of hours. It's the standard of the output that you're holding your employees to. That's very important. Because even if they're in the office, if they come in at 9 and they leave exactly at 6, you also have no idea what they're doing in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
They're on Yahoo News, they're on MSN, they're doing what nonsense on Facebook, right now. Right now. So it's the same. So if you are SME employee owner, then the key thing is to hold people accountable to the output and no vanity metrics. That's it.
I think that's the basic thing they should be looking at. Is that number one is to first things to really sort their house out and see what the hell needs to be done moving forward, and then after that share with the staff. Once that is done and dusted, the next thing is really to measure how the work is done and all that. But at the same time, bloody hell, just trust the people who are working for you. I think the more you try to run a police state or something like that at your office, the worse it's going to be. I cannot imagine. I remember there was someone I knew, and she told me before that her bosses, right, actually even call staff in, right, and ask them to explain why did you go to the toilet so many times today.
Yeah. Or like the the Amazon warehouse tracker, right?
Yeah.
They wear a bracelet. They go toilet 1 time, 2 time. I think the second time they get warning.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. So it's definitely changing how we, for those who are bosses, to how are we going to manage our team the best.
Correct.
We're not there to constantly overlook, to stand behind them and see what they're doing. So like for me, like what I do with my staff, same. Okay, look, I give you this thing, and I expect all these things to be done by this day, and then we review it. If you can't do it, don't wait until the day itself and tell me you can't do it. You're gonna be in big trouble. So I think this understanding of the work, how work is distributed, how work is how the output is measured, has changed. Fundamentally has changed already, and that's how we are supposed to move forward. Because right now, I think every company out there, we are just living day to day.
I also want to say for the employees, right? If you're an employee with SME, I want you to say this also. Learn to push back. Learn to ask. Okay, there are 20 things on this list. I can do, your deadline is next week. I can do 17 out of the 20 things by next week. But these 3, I need right? And have that discussion and point it out to your manager or point it out to your boss. Like have that. As employees, sometimes I notice employees who don't say anything.
Yeah.
They're scared, right? So they stress themselves out.
Yeah.
And they kill themselves doing it.
No, the worst thing, like yesterday, I saw a potential, like a client of mine. She's sending emails to me on Sunday evening. I'm like, why are you sending me emails?
Why you
Okay,
sending
but then I
emails?
have to ask myself, why was I looking at my emails also, lah? But but then again, so there's
And also we have to ask ourselves how sustainable it is. Like you do it once, okay. You do it every time, you're gonna kill yourself doing it.
right,
What's the point?
right. And I
Yeah, so
remember last week I talked to my staff before we ended on Thursday. I said, look, it's going to be a long weekend. I don't want you guys to work unnecessarily because we are all cooped up in our homes already now. And the thing is, if we are just going to continue just plow on with work day in, day out, 7 days a week without any mental rest. I mean, rest in this sense is not just sit down and do nothing. It's also not to think about work. If you don't,
correct.
you're going to get a bunch of staff, right, who's just basically going to be burnt out, right? Because of course you as the boss, right, you want to go because you want to survive. But for them, they are tired. They of course you are tired also, but for them, the stakes are also just as high for them because they have mouths to feed. And the thing is that if your workforce is not properly rested and not given the opportunity to not think about work, and you don't advise them accordingly, you also have to open your mouth, right, as the business leader and say, guys, please rest. I don't want to see any emails going out on Sunday, because I want you to rest. Because if you push through this moment, you force yourself for 3 days to work extra, but then the next 2-3 weeks you all fuck up, right? Then there's no point for anyone. It doesn't help anyone.
There's no point.
Doesn't help.
Correct.
Yeah.
On the other extreme, I find that European companies, I'm gonna sound like a heartless capitalist.
Yeah.
On the other extreme, I find that European countries that legislate mandatory no work days, no email, all that nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Are just mollycoddling their population and destroying whatever work ethic that they have. Like that's what I think lah. Okay, like you can cut this out if you don't want. But like I find it incredibly unwise because if a person wants to do it, they should have the freedom to do it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I am the kind of person. My boss don't want to receive email from me. I will send him. I will also send him, and then I will text him, and I will harass them. I rush. I like to push, and I like to get things done. If there was a law that said I couldn't do it, does it hamper my productivity? Does it hamper the number of things I can do? Yes, Yes. It means that I have to compress a lot more things into just a regular work day. When we all know that 9 to 6 or whatever doesn't exist anymore. I think like this episode you'll be able to see, right? We can put our email or contact in the episode description, and if you need any help, even if you want to have like for me, reach out to me to talk about marketing, branding, how to get out of this crisis, or even right, you are saying, hey, we need to do we want to do a charity campaign, want to help people who are let me know, let us know, and we can like jump in and help as best we can. Because
also to add that we were not offering monetary help, so don't drop email and say, hey, Big John and we need like
send me $5,000 or return you end of the month.
I'm not getting paid that kind of dough as well, but I in terms of a professional help and things like that, we will tell it, we will say it as it is. We don't paint a pretty picture, but we will always deliver it as straight as possible.
I think also more importantly for all the entrepreneurs, all the SME owners out there, right? There might be moments where you just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
for somebody to sit there and go, Yeah, I get it. Yeah, just to listen to you
Yes.
talk about your pain, you can call us too.
Yes. So don't forget to reach out to us, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel,
The
and
like button.
the like button wherever I'm going to put it. Not too sure yet, but yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Stay safe, and please stay the fuck at home when you need to.
Yes, please keep your mask on when you go and buy your go to market, go supermarket. Okay. Take care.
You don't want
See
to
you
lose
next
the money the government's giving you, huh?